Just to let you guys know, this video is sponsored by Squarespace and I will be telling you more about them at the end. In the meantime, this video is for you hardcore fans, the nitty gritty ones among you that want to know the ins and outs with the horses, specifically the ones that are in the process of making babies or like gorgeous Millie there, have actually already made us a lovely baby. So stay tuned because I'm going to be going over the plans and the predictions and everything like that for Bear, Britney, Millie and Ettie. It's gonna be a busy one, guys. You know what time it is. You know what time it is, don't you? So I figured it would be a good opportunity to do this video whilst they're having one of their brushes. So as you can see, they are not looking their best, especially Bear, who was once competition fit. Be careful with that. Yeah, now looking extremely fat, hairy and broodmare-like. But it is really important that we still have a relationship with them and spend time with them, because obviously once the babies are here, we have no idea how the mares are going to react, because both Bear and Britney are maiden mares, which means they've never had a foal before, and you never know if they're going to be a bit foal proud, if they'll let you near the mare, if they'll let you near themselves, and obviously sometimes you do need to intervene, you need to help with feeding and things. So it's important that we just keep a relationship during the pregnancy. So a couple of times a week they have a nice brush, they get some fuss, basically to try and make sure they still love us when they've got a foal on the ground. So it makes sense to start with Teddy Bear, because she is a very popular one on the channel. We can't deny that, can we, Bear? At the minute, Bear is 5 months pregnant. In theory, obviously we had that awful, well, not scare, just a very annoying, awkward moment this year when we thought Bear was in foal and it turns out she wasn't. So this year we have been more cautious. As I mentioned in a previous video, we've done a 60-day scan, which is an extra one that we did from last year, because last year we only went up to 45 days. So as of 60 days, she was very much still in foal, and she is looking a different shape this year, I would say, which is good. I mean, we didn't know what to expect last year. She did get a lot fatter, the vets were pleased with her, but then when it got to the crucial time, you didn't quite get fat enough, did you? Anyway, we had a vet look at her 2 days ago. She had her EVH jab. Both her and Britney had the EVH jabs, and they've got 2 more to go. So they're very important to keep the mares and the foals protected, and also keep the mares and foals protected when they go away to stud. So it's really important they have that to stop them spreading any nasty diseases. So one of the things you guys wanted to know was the potential colours that Bear's foal could be. Hope you can still hear me back here. So with the colour genetic calculator, we have worked out, because Dondante is black, Bear's options for her foal is either black, smoky black, buckskin or bay. So very nice colour potentials. Like, I would be absolutely thrilled with any of those colours. If I could pick one, I would pick buckskin, but actually really chuffed with all of those colours, so I would be happy with whatever comes out in that colour palette. You guys know that we are hoping for a filly, but again, main thing is that mummy and baby are happy and healthy. So the next thing you guys were interested to know about was, what is the plan for Teddy Bear after she's had the foal? Once we've weaned the foal and we've gone further down the line, what are we going to be doing? So Bear is extremely special to me, and the whole reason I started this foaling journey was because I cannot bear to ever part with her. No pun intended there. We obviously do still have the cover from Ron, which I am so keen to use, because I just think Bear and Ron will be the best match ever. So assuming everything goes well and Bear likes motherhood, because obviously it's hard to plan too far ahead, we have to know that Bear is a good mum, that she likes being a mum, before we make the decision to ever put her back in foal. But at the minute, my thinking is that Bear will very much stick around and we will use that Ron covering at some point. I'm a little bit undecided as to whether I bring her back into work for a little while, maybe have her in work for a year and then use the Ron covering the following year, or if I put her straight back in foal so that we can get the babies on the ground and then get back to riding. At some point, Bear will absolutely be coming back into work. She'll be jumping again. I don't know if we'll go out eventing again. I would like to do some dressage with her because she's very talented in the dressage arena. She was working easily at, working at medium level, competing at elementary level before she went on maternity leave, which seems like absolutely ages ago now. So that is the plan for Teddy Bear. With regards to the plan for the foal, of course we have to see what comes out, how big it is and all of that. But my hopes are I'll be able to keep the foal. That is the rough plan at the minute, but it's very hard to say with horses, isn't it? But anyone that's worried Bear's going to go somewhere, do not fret. This little buckskin monster is going to be sticking around for a very long time. Is that a better hairdo? Huh? You are so fat and fluffy. Right, let's give them a bump update. They've only just come in, so my brushing isn't particularly good. I'm trying to do a little bit more on this side, and then I'll show you the bump. Look at that belly. Come on, Teddy Bear. Please tell me that there is something in there this time. Definitely more triangular, I think. But then again, guys, I thought she was pregnant this time last year. I'm ever the optimist. Look at that mud. Sorry, Bear, I'll brush you again later. You're too wet. You're too wet, grumpy girl. Right, the next candidate. Does anyone else have horses eat apples like they humans? Yummy. Was that nice? Is that a yummy, yummy apple? You're a good girl. So, here we are with Britney. Oh, she's put her head up. She's now out of shot. Apologies, guys. For anyone that's maybe missed the memo on Britney, she is actually Bear's half sister. So they share the same sire and their mums are actually related as well. So I don't really know like how they would be in the family tree. They're like almost half sisters and cousins at the same time. Bit of a complicated one, isn't it, Britney Brew? So Britney is 5 months and 2 weeks pregnant. She is a little bit ahead of Bear, and she is in foal, if you remember, to the gorgeous Harry, who is another full Welsh Dee. So she'll be having a Welsh Dee baby. Now, Britney's potential baby colour wheel is quite exciting because Harry is he Polino or Cremello? We can never decide, but he is a gorgeous creamy colour, and Britney is obviously buckskin, which means she carries the cream gene. So her potential colours are quite exciting. We believe they can be Cremello, Polino, smoky cream, all of which to the naked eye look the same. So if we have any of those colours, we will get the foal colour tested. You can send away some of their hair, get them colour tested so you know exactly what colour they officially are. But they can also be buckskin, palomino or smoky black. Basically, Britney's gonna have an exciting coloured foal regardless. Like there's no chance that she can have like a bay or anything, I don't think. Which is very exciting. It is worth mentioning actually that although we know obviously their colours and we know their parents' colours, we've not had them genetically tested, nor their parents. So potentially there'll be a little few odd genes that can be thrown around. Sorry, have I stopped brushing you to talk? Honestly, I'm so rude. So yeah, who knows, there could be a spanner in the works at some point and we could have a different colour to what the animal genetics site is predicting. But in theory, it should be one of those. Many a colour for you, Bryn. Now, people are very interested to know the plans for Britney because we ended up buying her from the sales when she was 6 months old, just after Bear had qualified for badminton. We were basically on an absolute hype of Bear's breeding, and we saw Britney and thought, gosh, she's so gorgeous, we need to take her home. We were hoping she was going to make about 15 hands. She was quite a big foal, and yeah, we thought she was going to make bigger than she has, basically. She's currently about 14.1 maybe, which is just a little bit too small for me. So we are thinking that once Britney has had her foal and she's been weaned and everything, we'll bring her back into work because she is broken in, and then most likely have to find her a new home, unless I won the lottery. I am playing the lottery now so that I can try and buy a mansion to keep all of you ponies. But she's such a cracking little mare, and she would actually be, you'd be wasted not doing anything. So we need to find you a lovely pony club home or something, don't we? But that is a couple of years down the line. As with the little foalie, the sensible decision will be to sell it. I can't say for sure whether we will or not. I think if it's a colt, we will most likely put it up for sale. Sorry, needs a different brush. At weaning, just because we're so geared up for having mares here, it does make things easier. We've got so many mares. In theory, that should be the same plan if it's a filly, because we can't collect ponies forever and ever. But I think if we have the most gorgeous little filly in the world, might be difficult to part with it, certainly straight away, because Harry is significantly bigger than Britney. So potentially her foal could be up to 15 hands, which would be quite exciting. Anyway, that is the plan for Britney and little baby, who is baking away in there. Her due date is sometime towards the end of May, whereas Bear's due date is, well, Britney could be anywhere from mid-May to end of May. Bear could kind of be anywhere from end of May to early June. So we should have a little bit of time between them. You're enjoying this. Right, I'm gonna carry on brushing and then we'll do a bump update. A bump update. What is it with you? You two naughty buckskins and brushes. Come on. Britney bump. Now worryingly, I think she looks bigger than Bear, and she's only 2 weeks ahead, so it shouldn't make that much difference. She also looks like she's dropped a bit more than Bear. She says, "What are you doing?" This is the back end view. Tell me what you're thinking, guys. Let me know. Oh dear. Our final cast member is a little bit tired. Oh, sweetheart. Do you mind if I film with you? I can come in there, you don't have to get up. Tell you what, guys, I have never been so nervous for my very expensive camera as I am now, but when the baby wants to sleep, the baby has to sleep. So let's do Ettie's update now. She is over 6 months, which is crazy, and she's gotten so big. You can't tell at the minute, obviously she's lying down, but she really isn't far off Millie's height. Obviously she's a lot shorter and a lot ganglier, but it's looking quite likely that she's going to make at least 15 hands, potentially a little bit bigger, and for that reason, don't go over. For that reason, we are at the moment thinking that we are going to keep her, because she's just got, although she's got a lot of attitude, which isn't always a good thing, She's got this amazing personality, and she just strikes me as one of those horses, or ponies, that's gonna be a real trier if you get her on side. And she's got this beautiful trot, she's got lovely movement, she's very speedy. So I won't lie, there's a little fantasy in my head that I'll be eventing Ettie one day. Obviously that's very, very, very far down the line, but she's too gorgeous and too special to part with, especially this year when we were, you know, expecting the 2 babies, and then only Ettie came along. She kind of got special treatment, to be honest, and yeah, she's just very, 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 very special and important to us. So at the minute, we are fully expecting you to stay, aren't we, little madam? In terms of her training at the minute, she is really good with, well, I say really good, she's getting a lot better with her leading. I have a more control. It's only getting her out through the gateway where it's really slippy. We sometimes have a few problems and she can be a little bit spirited, but we are planning on working on that. And I've also been in touch with the amazing Millie Hackett, who is hopefully gonna help me out a little bit next year to do some foal training and handling, because it's an important job to do right, and Millie is obviously amazing. So look out for that next year. Hopefully, if we can get something in the diary, I will be sure to video, obviously. But she's got really good with picking her feet up. She had her rasp the other day. Worming is easy peasy because she's such a little oink that she just eats it in her feed, so you don't actually have to like worm her properly. You are soon to outgrow your foal slip, so we're on the lookout for a new head collar for you, aren't we? Maybe that'll be your Christmas present from Santa. How about that? Should we ask Santa for a head collar? Yeah? That is the weirdest little look that you ever give. But that is pretty much the update on little Ettie Woo. She just sleeps the whole time. All she does is sleep and eat, and then occasionally do zoomies, and I'm convinced that's why you're growing so much. Hey? It's the perfect recipe. Right, we don't need to do a bump update on you, and I can't actually brush you way down here, so I hope you've enjoyed your scratch. Was a scratch sufficient? Does that count as a brush for the day? I've been trying to brush her every day and run my hand down her legs and things, just to make sure I can touch her all over, because once she gets bigger, a kick is going to hurt a lot more if we don't put this work in now, hey? You have actually been very good, okay? Very, very good. Right, should we talk about your mummy? And then I'm going to go in. Oh, she's an actual dog, aren't you? You want to lie down fully, but I'm in your way. You silly sausage. Get on, Mill. So the final member of the mummy club is Millie. Now unfortunately I can't have the camera on a tripod or anything because someone has woken up and she absolutely cannot be trusted with the camera being loose while I'm not concentrating on her. So, oh, sorry Mill. We're gonna try and do this in hand. Anyway, Mill has done the best job of being a mummy to this little squirrel behind me. She's starting to look just a little bit wintered because Ettie's still feeding off her. It's obviously getting to a slightly tougher time of year, which is why they are now mostly coming in every night unless the weather is exceptionally good so that we can give them lots of hard feed and hay. They obviously also get hay in the field. So in terms of weaning for Millie and Ettie, we are absolutely going to wean them. I don't think Millie is tough enough to actually self-wean. The fact she very much lets Ettie feed whenever she wants to at the minute and also share her hard feed tells me that Mill isn't going to want to self-wean. So we are planning on weaning them, not for a little while. We want to get them through the worst of the weather together because it's just going to be better for Ettie. Although she is very big and strong, we don't want them to drop any condition as a pair really. So we'll leave them a little bit longer because they're sort of stronger together as a unit. And then the plan is to soft wean them. There are many different ways of weaning and many different opinions out there. Some people like to just do a hard split. They take either the mare or foal away and that's that. You let them get over it for a few days. And then other people like to do it really softly and let the mare do it themselves, but that can take years. So we're gonna go for a happy medium. So the plan is to start splitting them up in a few months' time for short periods of time. So Ettie will probably either go with Bear and Britney or with Ace, because we know that he's really good with foals, for a few hours during the day, and then they'll be reunited at night. We'll keep doing this until it becomes not stressful for them, and then we can extend the amount of time that they're separated for until eventually they don't really feel like they need to be reunited too much. And then at that point, we will stop putting them together completely. It just makes for hopefully less of a traumatic experience. Obviously it's going to be difficult for them, they don't really want to be split up, but it is the safest thing for mare and foal at some point, isn't it? We'll obviously do it at the right time. I think you can kind of tell when they're ready to start being separated. And then we have decided that Millie is going to find a new home. We just can't keep collecting too many ponies, and with 2 new ones on the way next year, we have got to be sensible. Also, I'm definitely too big to actually ride and compete Millie, and although we bought her as a project a few years ago for me to produce, I do feel now that I would be too big for her to actually bring her back into work, especially when she's got no muscle. She's completely lost any muscle over her back, so me getting on her would actually be quite a strain to bring her back into work to start with. We do think that the best plan for Mill would actually be a brood mare, because she loves motherhood. She's just amazing. She adores Ettie so much, and she's been so easy to deal with from our point of view. She's just an absolute dream. And she has made the most beautiful baby. She's also a talented mare. She's got nice movement, she can jump. So being a brood mare just kind of ticks all of the boxes for you, Mill, doesn't it? Make you nice and happy, and it means you don't have to be brought back into work. So that is the plan, to find her a brood mare home. I mean, there may be someone that would be keen to bring you back into work. We'll see. We'll find the absolute best home for Millie. That's what matters the most, is that she will be the happiest and good girl and the best looked after. Hey little girl. But we don't need to think about that for a little while, because we've got to go through that whole weaning process first. Anyway, I feel like I have just like shouted loads of information at you for the longest time now, but that is the update on Bear, Britney, Ettie and Millie. They're all doing very, very well. You can kind of see how big this little monster is now. If there was anything I missed out, do comment down below with any questions. I'm going to try and get back and answer as many as I can within the first 24 hours of this video going live. Also, let me know your foal predictions, because I'm intrigued to know whether you guys think Bear and Britney are having, firstly, fillies or colts, and secondly, what colour you think they'll be. So let me know the predictions down below. You could also predict how big you reckon Ettie's going to be, and then you can come back and check in 4 years' time. Other than that, I live, laugh, love you. I'll see you very, very soon, and I'm going to hand over to future Meg, who's going to talk you through Squarespace. If you're wanting to build a website, stay tuned, because this is important. Hey! Oh, she's back in the warm and dry where she belongs to talk to you about Squarespace, who were the wonderful sponsor of this video. Now, if you find the thought of creating your own website a little bit daunting, and perhaps you're worried it's not going to come off as professional as you would like, I'm going to stop you there, because Squarespace is where you need to go. They have got the most amazing tools and templates to allow you to create a beautiful and unique website, and it's going to be super easy to do. So let's talk you through a few of the key features that Squarespace has to offer. Firstly, you can connect with your audience and generate revenue through gated members-only content. You can manage your members, send email communications, and leverage audience insights all on one easy-to-use platform. Squarespace will allow you to create a community with your website with fully integrated commenting systems, which supports threaded comments, replies, and likes. You can also use their powerful blogging tools to categorize, share, and schedule your posts too. Extend Squarespace's already powerful e-commerce capabilities with Squarespace extensions. These new third-party tools can help you manage inventory, promote products, streamline bookkeeping, reconcile and file sales tax, and ship items across the globe. Lastly, Squarespace knows that social media is super important, so they allow you to display posts from your social profiles straight onto your website, allowing you to automatically push website content to your favourite social media channels so your followers can share it too. That all sounds pretty fancy, doesn't it? But the proof is in the pudding. So if you go to squarespace.com, you can trial a few websites out, have a play around. If you get ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Elphick, that's the important bit, because that will get you 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So happy website making, guys, and thank you very much Squarespace for sponsoring this video.